to 2024-08-03. That is, I'm going to flip the page. Presented by Commissioner Barrett.
To the Honorable Martin Wick, Chairman, and members of the Hopkins County Board of Commissioners, ready to session met this 26th day of August 2024. Resolution is reference to reduce pollution by revising stormwater, grading, vegetation, erosion, and sedimentation control measures. Whereas, according to the Census Bureau, portions of Hopkins County, Tennessee are part of the Kingsport urbanized area. This means that Hopkins County is designated as a MS4-2 stormwater entity and must adopt and enforce stormwater regulations. And whereas the attached resolution is necessary to update the MS4 process is mandated by the State of Tennessee Environment and Conservation Department. And whereas uncontrolled stormwater drainage and discharge have a significant adverse impact on the health, safety, and general welfare of the students, of the residents of Hopkins County, and an adverse impact on the natural environment by carrying pollutants into receiving waters within the county. And whereas Hopkins County is required by federal law, particularly 33 U.S.C. 1342P and 40 CFR 122.46 to obtain a natural pollutant discharge elimination system permit through the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation to reduce stormwater flows and associated pollutants discharged into waterways through Hopkins County stormwater system and drainage ways. And whereas the NPDES permit requires the county to impose controls on future and existing development necessary to reduce the discharge of pollutants in stormwater to the maximum reasonable extent using best management practices, control techniques, and system design and engineer methods, and such other provisions that are determined to be appropriate for the control of such pollutants. Therefore, be it resolved that approval of the attached resolution be given by the Board of Commissioners, and further, be it resolved that all previous resolutions pertaining to stormwater will be rescinded. Number two, the attached resolution would become the current stormwater regulation document for Hopkins County, Tennessee. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
All right, we've got a motion from Commissioner Barrett, second Commissioner Gibson. Commissioner Quantz, you're up.
Mr. Barrett, is this the resolution that we talked about in committee where you had to move at least an acre of soil?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that doesn't say that in here.
It says it in the body of the
400 pages.
Yeah.
the 119 million.
Pardon me, I actually looked to see if I could find it in the regular addendum here, and I couldn't find it, so.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Spence, it is.
Okay, thank you, sir.
About it in the committee.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So I was only confused, is this specifically for commercial properties and companies that you're managing, or is this?
No, it's anyone that disturbs more than an acre of soil. And the TDEC has really cracked down on these regulations. They've changed from the last year. We used to have a guy named Vince Pishner that took care of our report every year and watched all that stuff. He passed away. So we're in the process of finding somebody to help us get this year's report filed and to put a process in place that will alert us to anybody that's disturbed. If it's agricultural, you don't have to mess with it. We don't have to deal with it. But if it's residential, commercial, if you're disturbing more than an acre, we have to take a look at it. Yeah.
So when you say disturbing, I'm just wondering how this applies, like, somebody has essentially 20 acres or something off 66, is that water that's running out to the road? Is this apply like to the septic? Like, what's the issue with the stormwater where you guys need to?
The issue is stormwater runoff that goes into streams and pollutes, and et cetera. For instance, our highway department was looked at by TDEC, and they've got a good chance of some runoff from the salt, from the fuel, from a lot of different things they've got stored out there. So we got a CDBG grant to take care of that. They're working on it right now. It's in the engineering phase, so that when water comes down and gets in their salt or whatever, it doesn't run down into the streams and the river. Anybody else? Commissioner Gillum.
Wouldn't that apply to Mayor DeWitt if, say, my neighbor did something to direct water or things onto my property? That's what also this is.
Yes, if it's more than an acre, yes.
Right.
Okay.
I think what everybody's concerned is it's hard to understand what all it covers. We didn't catch it until this week. And so everybody's just a little bit concerned and confused about what exactly is going on and what it might lead to in the future. And I understand you gotta apply by the state
Yeah,
regulations.
there are counties that haven't done this that have been fined upwards of $800,000 for not doing it. I don't want to get us in that situation.
But
So we're muddling our way through it with the help of
it's
some
it's
engineers.
a long document y'all voted for, right? And the majority of it is just that you're filing a report and give you the power to inspect and correct anyone that disturbs more than an acre of land.
Yes. Hopefully we catch them in the process before they do it, so that we can see their plans. Commissioner Gill.
Yeah, and to be clear, we've always had stormwater regulations, correct?
Yes, yes.
This isn't, so we're not adopting anything new. These are updated regulations, but we've always had stormwater regulations in place, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're just a little bit more strict now. Hang on, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that we've always had a regulation that you need to get a permit before you can disturb more than an acre of land. I know that's oftentimes overlooked or not adhered to, but that's one of the things they're cracking down on. I believe that the stormwater manager will be appointed this is a very comprehensive, very inclusive set of regulations. And it will take somebody to implement them and follow up and educate people, because this has been coming along for many years now. As you said, we've had a stormwater regulation like this before, and Mr. Pishner had prepared. This is a step up, and it is one of those things where, like you said, there is a September deadline to get this in, and if you don't have it in by then, you are subject to penalties. And TDEC, either because of their being pushed by the feds, I don't know, but the stormwater issues are going to continue to grow from an administrative standpoint.
Dang.
Like Jeremy said, there was a lot of similar language to like the County Power Act when it started talking about enforcing the regulations, basically saying if you decline. I think a lot of the worry is like, are we going to have a new stormwater little team going around to random private properties, going there for no reason? The language in the resolution is definitely, rather.
There won't be any time for anybody to do that, Dane. It's just, we're going to put the least amount of regulation in as we can, dictated by the state.
One last tiny thing.
Yeah.
At the very, very beginning of the resolution, it says, according to the Census Bureau, portions of Hawkins County are part of the Kingsport urbanized area. So I want to know why we have this new slew of regulations taking us to this new stormwater level or whatever it is, covering the entire county, when it's like one tiny little, like, why does Kingsport get to randomly say, okay, hey, this tiny little portion of Hawkins County is in our area, you guys need to bump it up, and now we have to put regulations on the entirety of the rest of Hawkins County for that little small section? Why does Kingsport have the authority to tell Hawkins
Well,
County?
it's not Kingsport Authority. It's basically TDEC determines who has an MS4. And honestly, we got drug into it when we really shouldn't have been, but there's no getting out of it now. We're bound by that, and go ahead now.
I was just saying, it's based on population density, and that end of the county up there, Kingsport, has the population density, and now requires them to comply with AMS 4.2.
Bill, Jack?
Yeah, according to the addendum to this, there's a manager that needs to be operating the whole protocol for the TDS, and probably a staff with him too, because there's people going out being sampling and such. These would be, we don't have anybody doing that now, is that correct?
We don't, since Mr. Pishner died.
And then, so, who's gonna be paying for all these new people?
Okay, we are in the process of trying to put together, the municipalities have to have it too. So we're trying to get somebody who could combine Churchill, Mount Carmel, Circonsville, us, Rogersville, in, it's not a full-time position, but it's a position that has to look at a lot of things that it wouldn't, we wouldn't need to hire a full-time person. But if we can do a cooperative with the other cities, then that's where a lot of the money's gonna come. They'll have to be paid, yes. Mr. Pishner was being paid.
What was the last thing you said?
Mr. Pishner was being paid.
Oh, this is, so we did have somebody.
Yeah, till he passed away, he was being paid.
Is that just up in Churchill and Mount Carmel?
He did work for them too, I believe.
Okay, so this isn't an entirely new position.
No.
Somebody needs to have it.
No, but it's a difficult position to fill.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because you have to have some knowledge of all this stuff.
Dr. Barker might be able to apply.
Yeah,
You don't have anything else going on?
we'll give you a little vest and a flag to go in. Anybody else? Yes?
Are you working with the extension office or anything like that for the vegetation part of the
No.
runoff, or
No.
to get ideas or information and input?
No, I mean, it's a possibility we would if we ran across that particular situation, yes.
Because that's a really good resource
Yeah.
right there.
That would be the solution.
Fingertips. And it would probably be a lot less money.
Anybody else? All right, hearing none, let's go ahead and vote, please.
Yes.
All right, resolution passes.